Please welcome Errol Morris to the stage.
I'm going to sit anywhere. I'll stand.
I'm going to sit here, and then you can sit over here. Everybody has a mic, and please welcome Elsa Dorfman. Hey, there's an anniversary that's being celebrated. Is that right? Married 40 years? Okay. Is that, yeah, if you, no. How long have you guys known each other, you and Errol?
Well, Hamilton is going to be 30.
Yeah.
Hamilton is going to be 30. That's Errol and Julia's son. And he was about 5 or 6. So I'd say 25 years.
And Errol, when did you decide to shoot with Elsa in her archive?
Well, I wanted to do it for years.
Mm-hmm.
I spent an afternoon with Elsa in her garage, and Elsa would pull 20 by 24s, B-side 20 by 24s out of her flat files, and then start telling me stories about each one of the Polaroid photographs, and I thought, this is a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it took me a while until I actually made the film. It took me until this year.
Mm-hmm. And how much shooting time did you do?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Stephen knows. Where is he?
20 hours? Yeah, okay, all right.
Enough to make the movie. No?
Right.
Can I also ask you a question about the widescreen format? It's a technical kind of question, but it's an interesting choice for this movie.
But I've been doing everything in widescreen.
Uh-huh.
Oddly enough, you wouldn't think interviews would look great in widescreen, but
Yep.
they do.
But they do, yeah.
And I started shooting them not anamorphically, because you don't have to really do that anymore. Shooting them digital media and then cropping them to 2:4, which is essentially scope. No anamorphic lenses, standard lenses. And I noticed very, very early on that it allowed me to edit things in a very different way. Not so much in this movie, but in the past. And I noticed that it's just endlessly imitated.
It's endlessly imitated?
I think that's the word, yes.
Okay.
Ripped off also comes to mind. But just say, for the sake of argument, I just saw Amanda Knox, and it's a complete rip-off of what I do. And I didn't know whether to be...
Flattered or what?
No, I was going to say insulted or outraged.
Elsa, how many times have you seen this movie?
I think this is my 5th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't get enough of it. I mean, it could be my funeral, and it's not.
It's so easy to make a movie that people like when you have such a likable person. It makes everything easy. You just have to get out of the way and let your subject take over.
And a bossy Jewish girl will do it every time.
Indeed.
So, I'm wondering if anyone in the audience has any questions, if you'd like to jump in. Yeah. The question is about the fact that now everybody, and I mean everybody, can take their phone out of their pocket and take a picture. So what does that mean to Elsa?
Well, one thing it means to me is I don't understand the whole thing of taking a picture and not having a piece of paper. So have all, it happens to me too, you take all these pictures and then how do you get them off of the telephone? You need a millennial to help you. I don't. So I'm where I started. So I don't know what the next evolution is going to be, because to me, a photograph is something you look at. When you look at something, you have it in your hand. You don't go, oh. So I don't know does anyone know the answer?
I don't know.
Google.
But
Google. Amazon.
I don't know how many people look at all the photographs they take. That's my question. A lot of people have thousands of photographs on their phone, and just, I don't know. I wonder
But
if
it's
they look
different
at
when they're in a box and you come
Yeah.
across the box and you say, oh, look, it's summer camp. You know, and there are friends of mine in this audience that I'm excited that they're here and we can look at the pictures, but it's that same going back to that feeling of the people that you love in your life. So if it's on your phone and then the phone dies, or they tell you you need a 6, so you have to take the pictures off your phone, or they're in the cloud. I don't know.
One thing, I sometimes think of architecture as an example that architecture is constantly changing. But does that mean you never see Queen Anne houses or Victorian houses ever again? No, it becomes like sedimentary levels. Photography becomes richer and more variegated. One of the things I like the most in this film is when you yourself are looking at your work, looking at your photographs, and you point to Allen Ginsberg's beard, and you say there's never going to be anything like this again, the level of detail. And there is something truly wonderful about 20 by 24 Polaroid photography. Certainly, Elsa shows us that. And I think, like all kinds of photography, it's worth preserving. I would hate to see it disappear from existence. There's plenty of room in this world, clearly, for digital photography, but there should be plenty of room for Polaroid photography as well. And so all of these efforts to preserve what she does, here, I think that's absolutely terrific.
Agreed. Yeah, right there. If there were no, if it wouldn't be Polaroid, what camera would Elsa use?
Well, I have a Hasselblad, and I might go back to the Hasselblad. And I have my cell phone like everyone else, but I need something in my, now I bought this little package from the new Polaroid, if you can believe it, and it makes this awful picture, but it's something I can like stick on my pocketbook or, you know, stick on my wall or something. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. Because I haven't come mentally to that point yet. Really, I have, you know, many cameras, but will I go back to my old Nikon? It's hard to find print, you know, film, and will I make contact sheets? I mean, I don't know. So I don't know the answer. What would you do? Well, thank you. There are a couple of people in the audience who came up to me tonight and said just the same thing of pictures 10 and 20 years ago, so I appreciate it.
I want to say, even though he's not going to like this, I just want to give Dan Stern a shout out because
I agree.
yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out to Dan Stern.
He doesn't want to stand up. So we'll do one more question and then we're going
He
to
had
move
no
into-
idea what he was getting into.
What did Errol ask of his composer for this film?
He wrote a lot of music to just without even knowing that he was formally writing music for this film. And the music turned out to be so good. He's also writing the music for my Netflix series as well. Paul Leonard Morgan, we love the guy. Music is so odd because it's hard to know how it's going to combine well with an image, but when it does, you know it. And I believe he's done an extraordinary job on this movie. It brings it to life.
I love it.
And Elsa even likes it.
Well, I mean, 5 times. I mean, yeah.
But every time I see it, I find another thing that I hadn't noticed before. And now, tonight, I love reading the credits. This is the first time I've really seen it with all the credits. And so there are the names of all these friends who came out of the woodwork to squeal on me. I love it.
Hey, Elsa, I just want to ask you about your beautiful portraits of Bob Creeley. They're really special, and just to get your memories of taking those photos.
Well, Bob Creeley was one of the most amazing people, wonderful, warm, helpful, affectionate people. And he was one of the people that always took me seriously from my first roll of film. First roll. I think the people who had been to, now I'm blocking the name, which is why I'm retiring.
Black Mountain?
Black Mountain. But
Charles
all
Olson as
right,
well.
they
He's in-
all had the feeling when I, who had always been put down, and unmarried, what is she going to do, what career is she going to have? She has lots of ideas. But they were, when I said, oh, I love the camera, I think I'll be a photographer, none of them said, ha, 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 ha. All, and they were, I haven't realized it until this minute, but they were all Olson, Creeley, they were all from Black Mountain. And so there was a spirit there and sort of a acceptance that I was very lucky that I ran into. And Creeley really embodied that. So there was nobody like Bob. And like Errol, Bob and Errol both see with only one eye each. And I think in both cases, having only one eye that really works well is part of their genius. You heard it here first.
What do you think, Errol?
I had an argument with Oliver Sacks. He had written this paean to binocular vision. And I told him that there were enormous advantages to having monocular vision. The fact that it made you perhaps, and I do see this as a kind of virtue, it made you more suspicious, more skeptical, perhaps even more paranoid. It made you question the world rather than just to swim in it. And I told him in the world of the double-sided, the one-eyed man is king.
I think we should prepare for the surprise that we mentioned before. Can we do that now?
Ice cream.
Yeah, lots and lots of ice cream.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Dan Stern's coming to the stage. Yeah, that should be.
I'll just tell what it is.
Yeah.
Hello? Okay. Hi, I'm Dan Stern. I'm president of the Film Society. I also happen to be a lover of Elsa, who I met in graduate school, and she became my second mom, and I fell in love with her and her work and Harvey. So I didn't know this film was being made. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't choose it. That's the truth, right?
More or less.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. But we happen to have one of the 5 20 by 24s in the world here at the Film Society. So you're going to see a once-in-a-lifetime thing live. We're going to set it up. It may or may not work because it's very fussy. But I convinced these guys to do it. So bear with them. It's going to take 5 minutes to set up or so. And you're going to see Elsa do a session live and take Errol's picture. So it'll be an original, and we'll all do it together. And as I said, please have patience, and it may or may not work, but you'll see just what she's toiled with for 30 years and the fickleness of this and how amazing these photos actually are because they're difficult to get. And hers are amazing consistently.
If it doesn't work, you all get your money back.
Yeah. Yeah. Gift of Errol Morris. So you can continue talking,
Yeah.
and if anyone has questions about the camera, John Reuter, who is the godfather of the camera, is here. He can answer questions as well.
Yeah, if anyone wants to. Yeah.
Where'd you get the film?
From the stash. From the money that we got.
From Dan.
I'm tongue-tied at the magnificence of it. I'm like, But Dan saved the camera.
Well, Elsa called me one day and said Polaroid's going bankrupt, and the guys who did this are really idiots. And I think proof of that is he's in prison.
And we said it would be $100,000.
Yeah, he's in prison.
Always remember when someone says a round number.
He really is in prison?
He's in prison, yeah. He's in prison.
Why is he in prison?
Because it was one of the, other than Bernie Madoff, it was the second largest Ponzi scheme in America in a long time, and he committed a giant Ponzi scheme of which this was a part, and bankrupted the company. And the company didn't, like other things, people didn't realize what they had. So Elsa called me and said, this part of my life is over because they're going to throw it all away. So we mobilized and went into the bankruptcy court and convinced the judge that we would like to buy all of the Polaroid film that existed at the time, and the cameras. So we did, and I did a little part. I helped put the money up, but this man right here, John Reuter, has labored for how many years?
7 or 8.
7, 8 years, making less money than he should make.
I got a T-shirt.
Out of just love of the medium and preserving it. So we have, well, here, you talk about it.
Okay. Well, I worked for Polaroid for 30-something years before this, so it wasn't like we just approached them out of the blue. So it was kind of a planned thing. We actually knew as early as 2004 that Polaroid was going to do this, and so we were fairly methodical about it. So we were able to get cameras, and there's also machinery that goes along with this. What you're seeing here is just, the delivery part, but we actually make the reagent, we spool the film, we put the chemicals into these foil pods that you'll see that they're taking out of a box right now. So it's a fairly complex production process as well as an actual shooting process. So I'm going to try to give you a play-by-play as they go about doing this. We have Colleen Logan here, Nafis Assad, and Jehu Sedras hiding in the back there. My team here for the film festival is giving them a great applause. As you can see, it's really a team effort. It's really like a film crew trying to operate this thing. And Elsa's our director, and we try to be the DP, the grips, and all that, all rolled into one. And we're going to do a little portrait. We won't bring you guys up until we're actually ready for you. But normally we have a much more elaborate lighting system. If anybody's been across the street to the studio, you can't all come in at once, but you might be able to peek in. We have about 7 or 8 strobes set up, a big background, and all this kind of stuff. So it's a fairly elaborate lighting system. So for this, we just wanted to keep it quite simple. So we have a single light, and I'm going to try to put Errol over here. I hope Nafis can frame in this light here. The camera itself, you know, it's a very large format camera. It's got a big ground glass on the back here. That one's live too, I see. Okay, so we've got a door back here that opens up. The film is actually inside the camera. There's a roll of negative at the top, there's a roll of positive at the bottom, and there's a chemical thing here. I don't think he's going to be seeing anything with the light because it's going right into the back there. Is anybody in the back that maybe could kill the stage lights for just one moment when we do get Errol up here? Is anybody up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There's a Fresnel screen on the back. If it hits any light on there, you can't see a thing, so Nafis will let me know.
Is that good, John?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
The shutter is part of the lens, correct?
Yeah, the lens is in the shutter. It's a standard large format shutter with shutter speeds and everything. It syncs to a strobe. You want to test our strobe first, just to... Okay. Is that full power? It is. Did you read it? Get a reading? F32 from right there? Okay. This is the kind of thing we go through all the time, questioning each other. This is what part of the process there. So, you think we're ready, Nafis? Okay. Can we get our principals up?
What do we do with the mics?
You can give it to me. No problem.
So where did you take the reading? Right here? Okay. You're going to be over here, Errol. Whoop. That one's live also. Did we lose all the mics? Hear me okay? Errol, do you want to stand or do you want to? He should stand. Okay. Okay. So, Errol, I think we're going to put you right up there. Okay. So it is a view camera. So what Nafis is doing right now, the first thing you do is you move the lens a certain distance away from the film plane. So that sets the magnification, or how large the subject will be. And then we literally, with a camera like this, you move the camera back and forth to focus. There's no cranking or changing the elements or anything like that. And from back here, did you lose your model light there? You have no model light.
I think I kicked it.
Okay. Seriously, we have no model light.
It just blew.
Just went off.
Lights back up?
You want the lights back up?
Yeah, I want the lights.
Okay. You're going to wing it now?
No, I can see.
Okay. That's why we have the younger people doing this. I did this for about 30 years, and so quasi-retirement right now. No, the model light will not come back on, I guess, but the strobe should fire. There's 2 parts to it. There's a light that actually allows you to see what you're going to get, and then the delivery of the actual exposure is through a strobe that will fire. So how often does the model light go out, you may ask? Like almost never. So. And the delivery of the image is upside down, you know, a view camera and all that kind of stuff. So it's the old classic view. Make sure I am well out of the frame here.
I don't know if we actually have a poster of this film here, but the Polaroid picture of Elsa.
There's a really great poster. Yeah, I don't know that we brought one out here.
Written underneath it is "The camera is magic, and that is indeed the truth."
Oh, you got you.
One of the characteristics of her art is never, ever know when she's going to take the picture.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
And neither do I.
It'll be a minute and a half once we get it out of the camera, and I'll bet Nafis needs a knife, right?
I was shocked.
It's 20 by 24 street photography, right? Right here in front of you there.
Once for a grant application, I said that Elsa's art was the perfect combination of, do I need a microphone? Yep. In a grant application, I once said that Elsa's art was the perfect combination of dime store photography and Renaissance portraiture. And I'll stick by it. I tried.
Let's see how this comes out. So we're going about 90 seconds on this now. So, and Dan's encouraged, he's asked if we can do one more after we see what we get here. So we'll try to do one more. Now that you're familiar and comfortable with the process, you have expectations, right? So this is the best part of the process, is the wait. It's 90 seconds, that seems like 4 or 5 minutes there. You're going quite low there, Nafis. You're going quite low. Depends how it comes out. Wait, we don't have it yet, so.
I had something in mind, but it left me when Errol hugged me. I had something in my mind. What was the last thing he said?
You ready? Okay.
Here we go.
No, what?
All right. Colleen, you want to hold that up to get rid of the bother?
But something was in my mind, but then now it's not in my mind. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just
It's
put
great.
with everyone. Because everyone is here. And I'm so glad everyone's here. Every time I see the movie, I think it's
Okay.
a miracle.
This is something we can all be proud of here.
Because
Look at
I
this.
thought it was going to be 10 minutes.
Turn it around. Come on, Nafis.
The reveal.
The great Errol Morris. Great job on the focus, Nafis, in the dark.